Let's talk about an image transfer I did not hear about before. Hi there and welcome back to my channel, or maybe you are new, welcome. My name is Marlies, also known as Marley Design. And in front of me is the make that I created in my last video. In the background I have used one of my own digitals and I made a little scenery with all kinds of Tim Holtz products. After finishing this piece I was wondering, I do like my papers in the back. But is it also possible, is there a way to blend those papers in more in the background? And then I mean when you use it in combination with other kinds of medias, like mixed media. So for example, paints, maybe some inks, pastes, all that kind of stuff. And I think we can do that in today's video. And what we are going to try today to create such kind of, well, result is image transfer. And why image transfer? Well, I do like my printables, but like I said, I wanted to blend in a little bit more and that I can use all kinds of medias afterwards. And there's no better way than use your digitals, print them, maybe a laser copy or an inkjet copy. There are multiple ways to use both, and then make it in a great background or where you can work on even further. Let me first show you and tell you the technique, the image transfer that, well, most of all already know. So yeah, what kind of method I'm talking about? Image transfer with a matte medium. And you can already see I have the Liquitex Professional brand matte medium, and this is the fluid one. What other kind of materials are on my table? Here on the left and also on the right I have my own printable set. These are inkjet prints. Then I have two different kind of wood. This is the kind of wood, thin slices for crafting that you can get in the craft store. And I also got out some natural materials, so these are sliced branches. Then here on the top you will see some grey board. They come in different thickness and this is a quite thin one. And when I say thin, I think it is about a 2 millimeter. And then here in the top corner there's only just a little piece left that you can see. There is some cotton. When you want to try this method at home, try to play around with different kind of materials. So different kinds of fabric, different kind of structures, also different kind of papers, and different kind of wood. You can also try a canvas, or maybe you have some kind of thrift store find that you think, yes, that could be useful for this method. Now let me clear my desk, and the first material that we are going to use is the fabric. For the cotton, I have to say I have chosen a bit more a tightly woven cotton, but in the past I've already done this technique, and you can also use a more open kind of fiber, and that will also work very well. I already cut out 2 squares, and why 2 squares? You can already see I am going to use these vintage photos, and I must say these are not ink yet, these are laser, and they will also work awesome. So for now my projects are small, but of course when you use a total page like half of an A4 size, everything is possible. You just adjust the measurements accordingly to your project. I've put down my little craft sheet to protect my surface. I have put the cotton squares on top, and now we're going to use the Liquitex matte medium and an old brush to add a layer of the matte medium on top of my vintage photos. What most tutorials will tell you is to leave these laying for 24 hours so they can dry properly. But I think there will be more people like me. I am a bit impatient. And when I need something or when I want something, sometimes I just need it right now. So after gluing down these vintage photos, and I gave it a very firm rub, you can also dry them with a heat tool. That way your process will be a lot quicker. Oh, and there's one thing extra for information for you. You can put the matte medium on top of the whole portrait, so the whole square. But for me, I think those outlines, the square outline, is a little bit too straight. I want it more rough, distressed, so I skipped putting the matte medium totally on all edges. So I focused more on the center instead of gluing the whole square. Before I'm going to add any water to the back of the paper, I'm going to check if they are adhered together. And as you can see, they are. Now let's rub off the back. I have a cup of warm water and I'm just going to use my fingers to apply the water on the back of the vintage photo. Both photos are still wet, so I'm going to put them to the side so they can air dry. After drying, this is the result, and when you take a closer look, especially on the girl on the right, you can see some kind of white haze. It could mean that there's still some kind of layer of paper on top of there, so you can go back in with your water and rub that paper off. But for me, I think I will leave it on there, because you can see I rubbed already quite heavily, and there are spots that you can see the fabric again. So what I am going to do is I'm going to seal these portraits. And on these examples, you can already see how that will look. Because when you add some kind of varnish, I'm going to add a very cheap matte varnish, the colors of the portraits will become a little bit more vibrant again. And I hope to create the same result on these two. The varnish is dry, and that means you have a perfect base to work on even further if you want to. So you can add paints, inks, maybe some splattering, you can roughen up the edges, but for now we have a great base to work on. Next is this wood. I will use the same method, but my substrate, so my base, is different, and these are branches and they are sliced. This is the piece of wood that I have chosen, and because I really want to see the image that I'm going to transfer clearly, I'm going to create a basic layer with white acrylic ink. It really does not have to be perfect, because the all-over look has to be like old, worn and vintage, so when you do not hit every spot with the white acrylic paint, it does not matter. Now I'm going to let this dry so we can work on it even further. This is the image that I would like on top of my slice of wood. Again, this is a laser print, and we can all see that this square is way larger than our piece of wood. So what will I do? I'm going to focus on the girl. That means my matte medium goes mostly on top of the girl. And besides using the vintage portraits, you can also use my Grunge flower kit that we are working on in our Facebook group in the month of January. Grunge flowers, black and neutral. And you can see I have already prepared one of my slices with one of those papers. These are already glued together, so we will do the reveal after I am done with the portrait. That way you can see two different kind of styles. Now that the portrait is on, you can also give it a little bit of a burnish. Now, when you are doing this like in batch making in the evening, it is totally awesome when you created a batch. So gluing down all your paper pieces to your structure and then put it to the side to dry and you go to bed, have a good sleep, and then the next evening you can rub off the back. But again, I want to continue, so I am going to heat dry this piece so we can rub off the back right away. I have them both in front of me, so the flowers that I told you about, my other digital kit and my vintage photos. Again, a cup of warm water, and now we're going to rub off the back of these papers. Well, that was the method, but then on wood. As you can see, I have made multiple of the wood slices, but I also tried to use a bigger print on a bigger surface. So this was a square wood panel, and the print was from the Grunge kit Flowers in Black and Neutral. I started out also with an acrylic paint, a little bit of a beige color. Then I painted the edges with a black acrylic paint. And when that was dry, I went back in with some white and a darker beige and rolled it out with my brayer. So that was my base before gluing down my print. The rest is all the same. I glued down my print, I dried it with my heat gun and then rubbed off the back of the paper with some warm water. And then the wood slices. These are the two that I created in this video just a minute ago, but I made 2 extra so I can show you some extra results. And here on my left I have 2 different kind of structures to show you, which you can also use for this kind of method. This is a leftover piece of packaging. There were all small kind of embellishments inside, so I emptied the package and this is what we have left. Of course, the back is flat, so you can use this method on this side of the structure. Again, make sure that the kind of paint that you put on first is a paint that is not too dark, because you do want to see your image transfer. And this cute cutting board I found in a thrift store. And you know, these kind of things, you can always use this. For example, like I did in my last video, the tag. You could do something like this scenery on top of this surface. And you will never guess, I only paid 25 cents, so even when it's not working out, it's totally fine. Now that I have covered this method, a method that the most of us already know, it is time to show you a different method on image transfer. Are you ready? On YouTube I came across a video that had my interest right away. This YouTube channel is called Nitsa Creative Studio, and she is a real pro at image transfers. And the video caught my eye because she is doing a transfer with oil, 100% essential oils. Let us take a short look at one of her videos. And besides this video, she has multiple videos on using oil and image transfer. And what I also saw is that she created her own book, all about mixed media and photography. And there are many image transfer methods in there. I will put her link to her YouTube channel in my description box below, so you can check it out. Thank you, Nitsa, for this spark of inspiration, because I also wanted it to try it myself. I already did a test run because I wanted to try different kind of papers, different kind of structures, the base structure, different kind of layers underneath the print. I also used different kinds of oil and different kinds of prints. For example, this is a bamboo paper, 250 grams. The image transfer right onto the bamboo paper did not work. Then I decided to make a base layer with some acrylic paint in a beige color. And this image transfer worked, well, not maybe 100%, but I do like the result. And this image transfer was done with a laser print. The print mostly had sepia tones in it. I tried the same thing with a black and white print of my chaotic numbers, and that turned out like this. The image transfer is not crisp and clear, but I do not mind, because when you want a grungy effect, this could be very, very cool. I also wanted to try a piece of canvas, but that did not work out totally as I would want it to. And then this strip of photos. This is a piece of grey board. First I added a layer of a white acrylic paint, some scorched timber paint on all the edges, and then I went back in on the middle piece of the grey board with white again. And that was my base for the image transfer. And then on the bottom it did not work out as well. I got out another kind of print, 100 grams of white bio paper in black and white, also a vintage portrait. And the strange thing is that did not work. While here on the top 3 pictures I used off-white bio paper, 160 grams. I had these vintage photos laying around for a longer time. And the vintage photo that I wanted to transfer on this spot was freshly printed and did not work. But I still think this is an awesome effect because, like I said before, when you want something grungy, you make these into a tile, a square tile. You can play with them in your journal, maybe on a cover. And then this one. This one really, really surprised me. Look how awesome this transfer turned out. I used one of these papers with the flowers on top, and I have put it on a piece of grey board. And the way how I started this video at the beginning, that I said that I would like something, a base, a basic structure with a blended image on top. This is exactly what I meant. And the reason I think this worked out the best for now, because of course we can still refine our method, but the reason is that the grey board is a porous surface. My print was on a slightly thicker paper. The print was not fresh. It has been laying here for a couple of weeks. And when I transferred the image, I used an essential oil, 100% essential oil. But you know what? I will show you how I did this. And this is a total overview of today's video. So we had our well-known technique, method of image transfer that the majority of crafty people know. And then I tried something totally new to me. It could be that you had already heard about this method with the oil, but I did not. And that is how we came to this point of the video where I did some testing. So with, let's call it the old method, the image transfer with the matte medium, I have used laser prints and also inkjet prints for both. And then for this new method, I only used the laser prints. You saw me put a layer of varnish, matte varnish, on those photos. In the meantime, I also applied a layer on the wood. For now there is no varnish on these pieces. And it just came to my mind, wouldn't it be cool if I would reach out to Nitsa, ask her to watch my video, and maybe if she has the time, because we all know everybody is busy, but maybe when she has the time, yeah, she wants to give some feedback or a response to what I have been doing today. And if you want to check out Nitsa, her YouTube channel and all her other social accounts, I will put the link to her YouTube channel in the description box below. That also brings me to the next. When you are new to my channel, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, but hit the subscribe button so you will get notified when I upload a new video. I will also put all my other social accounts in the description box below so you can check it out. When you are curious about the materials I have used, I will make a list for you. And then to finish off this video, please leave me a comment, because I would really like to know what kind of things you imagine creating with these pieces. What would you do with the vintage photo on fabric? What comes to mind when you see this panel with the image on top? Do you want to alter it? If so, how? And then these cute wood slices. Any ideas on those how to use? Or the more grungy faded types? What is on your mind, or what do you envision when you look at these? Drop all your comments down below and I will be more than happy to read them and also get inspired by you guys. I wish you an amazing day and I hope to see you soon again, because in my next video I'm going to work on these pieces. Bye!